after a long absence and a pretty good battle with my health, we're back in the saddle, or actually in my chair with my headset and my microphone, and I'm ready to just let it rip. So here's another round of my podcast, and let's get going. So, a lot of stuff going on. These school shootings and stuff, and they're horrific. And everybody is picking a side. Guns should be outlawed, no guns, well, it's a constitutional right, etc., etc. Leave it to me to find a little loophole, if you will, about this. And maybe put a little light on to this. And you know what happens when the light goes on? The rats usually go scurrying for cover. And lo and behold, believe it or not, guess where I found a couple of rats? Right here in my beloved city, New York City, with the police department. Yeah, believe it or not. So there's a retired deputy inspector named Mike Endall. He chewed out a former New York Police Department sergeant by the name of David Villanueva for not, and I quote, playing nice in the sandbox with somebody by the name of John Chambers, who's something called a license expediter. Chambers would oversee gun licenses and how they were processed. Endall, creating a cottage industry for himself, paid Chambers and got his buddies' licenses pulled through quicker. And Villanueva was the conduit. Now, Villanueva's in the can. He's doing 2 years. Bribery. And he pled guilty. And there's the rub. First of all, I'm thinking, and you know my position on guns, I'm not a gun guy. I'm not a hunter. I'm not a shooter. I'm not a gun guy. Listen, let's cut to the chase. I'm from Brooklyn. I just settle the beef. I take my Rolex off. I roll up my sleeves. I take my cufflinks out and I kick your ass. Or you kick mine. One or the other. But that's how we settle it. Guns. You have to be bad to pull a trigger. Show me something. But why do you need to have your gun license expedited? Ah, Vitoria. There's the rub. Here's what happened. Chambers told Endall one of his guys had a license in, but he got arrested, and that was going to knock him out of the box to get his license. So Endall, the deputy inspector, who, by the way, retired and still has a full pension, way to go, Mayor de Blasio, he told Villanueva, make this go away. Villanueva said, how do I do that? He said, it doesn't really matter, man. Play nice in the sandbox with Chambers. Now, this is after they lavished Chambers with money and gifts and trips and all the other crap that you do when you bribe somebody. And listen, I'm no angel. I'm a Wall Street guy. I know all about bribes. And without incriminating myself, allegedly I've been on the receiving and the giving end. But we will not affirm or deny that. But I know how they work. You want something, you know, it's nice. That's why you tip a maitre d' in a restaurant. Right? You slip them a 50, you get a nice table. You slip them a 5, you're eating in the kitchen. If you're lucky, and you're probably eating pizza. But that's okay too. But this is the problem. You have a guy who's a friend of a retired New York City deputy police inspector who raised his hand and took an oath to uphold the law, who's got a friend of his who's just committed a crime. He knows he's committed the crime. He's applying for a gun license, which would knock him out of the box because he's been convicted of the crime. And he's telling an underling, a New York City Police Department sergeant, well, former sergeant, he's now in the can, but the sergeant should know better too because he took the same oath. Play nice with the inspector, the expediter. Now do you see why there are too many guns, or not too many guns, but in the wrong hands? Listen, the law says if you're a convicted felon, you can't have a gun license. Simple. I know it. You know it. Certainly, you would think a retired deputy inspector, on full pension and benefits, by the way, have I mentioned that? Would know it. A New York City Police Department sergeant would know it. And a licensing expediter would certainly know it. They're in court right now. Hopefully, Chambers is going to wind up doing some time too. And again, you know my position on that. I don't wish time on anybody. I don't wish time on anybody, man. Let's be serious. Let's be serious. Been there, done that. I don't want to do it. I don't wish it on anybody. But Villanueva's going. And in my humble opinion, or not so humble opinion, he's the least culpable. Chambers pointed out to Endall, hey, your guy's not going to get his license. Endall, who I'm sure took something under the table from his buddy to get his license pushed through, because the buddy of Endall knew he was convicted of a crime before anybody did. And Endall went to Villanueva and said, you got to make this go away. Play nice in the sandbox. Do whatever it is you got to do. Make Chambers happy enough to push this through, put some shade on it, pull this guy's record, whatever you have to do. I don't know, I wasn't there, but suffice to say, it wasn't legit. That's the problem. That's why people who shouldn't have guns have them. I know what you're thinking. Come on, Vitoria, don't get soft. Anybody wants a gun, you can get one. You're down the corner in certain neighborhoods. Get one. But that's not the point. We have laws. We have rules. And when the police look the other way on the laws and the rules, what do we got? Tell you what we got. We got Mayor de Blasio's New York City. And you know what? Maybe everybody should get a horse and a six-shooter, and the good guys can wear black hats, white hats, and the bad guys can wear black hats, and we can shoot it out at high noon. What do you think? Sounds good, right? Way to go, Mayor. Yet again, you've impressed me. Let's just hope that the powers that be get a little cozy room for three. Endall, Villanueva, and Chambers. And I'll say it one more time. You know me. I never wish that on anybody. But if the shoe fits, man, I'm out.